Well, one more thing that we looked at while we were in Disneyland.
Yes.
One of my favorite things, the mechanical musical instruments.
Right.
And I love this part of Disneyland. I love any of the original areas of Disneyland. And Frontierland here is virtually unaltered from the day it opened in 1955. Some small changes here and there out of necessity, but for the most part, this is exactly what this looked like in 1955 when the park opened.
Cool.
One of the really interesting things for me is that both here and on Main Street, while the individual stores have their own outside doors, once you go inside, they're all interconnected.
That's actually nice on a hot day because then you can stay inside the air-conditioned facility.
It's kind of like Disney's version of a mall.
Right.
Anyway, right here is one of the mechanical musical instruments. There's only two left in the whole of Disneyland, and this is a Nelson Wiggin, and it's been moved around a great deal, from place to place to place to place, and right now it's in the store here in Frontierland.
Right.
Now here again, they must have a custom roll that they've made just for Halloween.
It sounds like it.
This is their version of scary music.
Well, it's my version of scary music
Yes.
because I don't do scary music.
The friendly ghost.
Yes.
Look at this scene here.
Oh, wow.
You know, you can pull up photographs from opening day. The lantern, the tree, the little plantings here, pretty much unaltered.
Well, that's neat.
And I love the lanterns here, the Dietz Pioneer. We'll do a visit just on the lantern collection here, because, gee, I love lanterns.
Yes, I think I do too.
And there are thousands of different authentic lanterns here at Disneyland. And at one time, there were a lot more of these mechanical instruments here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and other coin-operated devices. But they're a lot of trouble to maintain.
They look what they could be.
And this thing is just perfect.
Yes.
Absolutely perfect. It's in tune. So many of these mechanical instruments, when you find them, they're out of tune and they're not working correct and they don't look quite right. This is just perfectly maintained. And that takes a lot of work. Okay, let's switch over to Main Street. Again, so much of Main Street is authentic.
Right.
It's more or less original to the way it was built. A lot of little things have been added, like this lovely train.
Isn't that neat?
Isn't that just the
That's
coolest
wonderful.
thing? But the fundamental structure here and the basic design is completely unaltered from opening day.
Oh, neat.
And this was always one of my favorite buildings here on Main Street, the arcade.
Yes.
And originally it really was an arcade, kind of a penny arcade. And it was full of coin-operated devices. And right from opening day, they couldn't get through a single day without half of the machines in here breaking down.
Oh, no.
And so today it's a candy store.
Right. But that's fun, too, because I can walk in and just kind of look.
Yeah, it fits what they're doing so much better, and they don't have very many of these original machines. Here's one of them. There's a handful of these original coin-operated machines still here, including this magnificent Welte orchestrion.
Yes, and again, that is in perfect condition.
Perfect condition, and this was always the flagship coin machine here at Disneyland, and fortunately, they have preserved it and restored it.
And those are just the bellows, right?
Yeah, well, there's an electric motor that runs bellows that produce two different air sources, if you will. One is suction, and then the other is air pressure. The air pressure is used to blow the organ pipes, and everything else runs on suction.
Oh, wow.
So all these little bellows that are opening and closing that drive the piano strings and drums and those sorts of things are being pulled closed by suction, because that makes the machine so much more reliable as the air pressure inside the bellows is lower, and then that way the bellows closes so much more cleanly than if it's being forced open.
I see.
And all player pianos work that way. They work, generally speaking, on suction. You can see those little bellows there are actually being sucked closed by negative air pressure provided by the bellows, and then another part of the bellows is providing air pressure to blow the organ pipes.
Wow.
Isn't that neat?
That's awesome.
And this is fundamentally digital technology.
Oh, yes.
I mean, realistically speaking, digital technologies emerged in the 19th century, and things like these coin pianos, which are a 20th century creation, run digitally on and off, provided by holes in paper. And then they even started getting into duplexing and multiplexing, the same basic technologies used later on in computers.
Wow.
Isn't that neat?
Yes.
And all of this in about 1910, 1920.
Wow. Goodness. This young man seems totally transfixed by it.
And so was my brother.
Oh, yes.
He went and bought himself a player piano when he was about 14.
Oh.
And drugged that home. I think he paid $25 for it. And then he was, by gosh, going to make it work, and he did.
Yes.
He totally rebuilt it. It took years, and he had to figure out how to go about it, and many people joined in to help him who were older, experienced people doing that. But I think they were kind of excited about a 14-year-old kid who wanted to rebuild a player piano.
Exactly.
Well, one more little adventure here at Disneyland, a little side trip.
Yes.
And back to the fun stuff, the trains.
Yes, and I could just take this one home with me.
Oh, I love these
Isn't that
trains.
cute?
They're just so cool. Well, one more adventure at Disneyland.
Indeed.
If you're not a subscriber to the channel, or hopefully a member to the channel, you can subscribe and get over to the main page where you can join by clicking on the upcoming blue button. Zoink! Right there. The blue button. Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here on Sunday with a Sunday show.
Yes.
We'll see you then.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.